What's up? What's up, y'all? So, yeah, right back at it. This time we got the background going the way it should be. I am your host with the most beautiful hair, Shy the Weirdo, aka the Shy Weirdo. Um, and today I want to talk about my journey of meditation and my journey of becoming emotionally available. Um, so I'll start with how I was as a little kid because that's honestly who I am at heart. You know, despite anything I might go through, I cling on to that spirit of just loving life. You know what I mean? And something that I've kind of sort of denied myself as I got older, and I shouldn't. But I'll start with how I was as a kid. So I think I touched on this in the last episode, but I grew up listening to the Temptations, the Jackson Five, the Delphonics. In other words, oh, plus lovers rock reggae music. I'm Jamaican, in case y'all didn't know. But that instilled a lot of romantic ideas in my head. So yeah, I was a little lover boy. You feel me? Um, so yeah, I think I mentioned before I used to like write poetry and stuff for my crushes. This, that, and the third. But I used to have a problem telling my crushes no when I was a kid, and I got used for a lot of favors. It is what it is, though. Young and dumb. You feel me? We're talking about like 6, 7-year-old me. So shit. But yeah. So when I was 8, 9, like third grade, I had a crush on this one girl. I actually got into a couple different fights with other dudes that had crushes on this girl. I'm talking fist fights. We in the middle of recess, man. Oh, hey, yo. Excuse me, I laugh a lot. So I'm sorry. Um, but yeah, she wanted nothing to do with my little crazy ass. Cause when I say I'm a weirdo, I mean it. Like you, people who meet me now think I might be a little weird. Me as a kid, a little kid. Oh, okay. I see. I'm gonna be laughing a lot through this video. But yeah, see, Shawty broke my heart for the first time. Just because I already knew I was leaving the school um, by the end of my third year, just because none of my teachers ever really liked the fact that I was super smart and therefore didn't conform to their curriculum. Because I would go home, take the books, read ahead, and I'd bullshit in class because I already knew the answers. That's the kid I was. I was like, I'd be singing in class, just my girl, sir, sir, my girl, sir. That that was me. Um, but what she did was absolutely unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I think, as I said, I'm a very shy individual when it comes to like how I feel. So I decided, it's my last day here. It's the last chance I'll ever get. All right, fuck it. Just told her she already knew I had a crush on her, obviously, because she had been using me for favors. I just told her straight up. She said, "Fuck you, nigga," in front of the entire schoolyard. Now, we had just walked out to recess. The Every grade is there. Everybody there. And shit got quiet as fuck. Just you could hear a pin drop. And I remember just being like overwhelmed by all the eyes looking at me, so I ran off to the side. There's like a little ditch, kind of sort of right next to where the pavement ends. I just like took cover under the ditch, and I was just back there. I wasn't crying, but I was just like, wow. So, although things don't tend to get to me when they happen, they tend to get to me like a couple weeks later. That's when I start feeling like if something just happened. You know what I'm saying? So that summer I went down to Florida. Shout out my great grandma. Shout out Aunt Jackie. Shout out Aki. Shout out Darren. Shout out Lee. Shout out Uncle Dennis. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think. Anybody else I should shout out? I don't remember the kids from the neighborhood's names no more. It's been half my life, more than half. But yeah. So we went down there, and now keep in mind when this happened, I was training in kung fu, doing all kinds of stuff, right? So I was a little buff dude. I had like a six pack. You feel me? Um, I started stress eating without necessarily realizing it. Just eating like just using food as a coping mechanism. So when I came back 3 months later, dumpling boy, like nah. Honestly, if I could go back in time, I would just tell myself, yo, it's not even worth all that. But time moves backwards for nobody. So one thing I did that I didn't realize was kind of also to a detriment of myself was I kind of sealed myself off involving any kind of romantic feelings. So even like I would still write love songs and stuff like that. Like I would still, yeah, I mean, every once in a while I get a crush and like write a song about it, but that's as far as I was willing to take the shit. I'm just write this song, get the fuck out of my system. Boom, I'm moving on. You know what I'm saying? And even then, as I got to a teenager, like yeah, I'm still doing what I do, but at the same time, it's like nah, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that wall pretty much lasted until I was, I want to say 17, 18. Uh, I want to backtrack a couple years before that because I am someone, and I know myself well, that has anger issues. Uh, they used to be really, really bad just because I was constantly going through some shit, whether it was my mom's health or my relationship with my father or just people trying to test me all day because I'm nice to people and I have manners. Um, I used to fight a lot. Like, I want to say 75% of the time I had to fight, and then 25% of the time I was just so sick of everybody's shit that I'm just ready to swing on everybody. Like, but started meditating, smoking on the herb when I was like 15, 16. Now, 15, that's when I was fighting the most. So, honestly, I'm going to say like when I was turning, or I either just turned 16 or I was turning 16. I started, you feel me? Um, that calmed me down a lot because what I started doing was started hanging out in like woodsy areas in nature because I'm also an empath and an indigo child. I've always been able like to sense energy coming off of people, plants, and animals. So like it's hard to explain what it's like to communicate with a plant because they don't speak in words. But me just touching the plant, I know what I know what it's trying to communicate. Like it's hard to explain to people who can't do it. But yeah, that always it centered me. Just chilling in the woods. I mean, nice little small J like this, little juicy J paper. You feel me? Just back there, meditate for a few hours every single day in the woods, every single day for like a couple years, and that also changed the way I would write my music too. It made me start writing more about how I really felt. You know what I mean? Just about life and enjoying life, the joys of enjoying life. Because I used to be somebody who didn't necessarily enjoy life because I was so focused on everything that was happening to me. Don't get me wrong, a lot was happening. Sorry about that, y'all. So yeah, but a lot was happening. So is what it is though. I eventually found my path, got reconnected with God. You know what I'm saying? Like I just talk to God whenever I feel any kind of a way. You know, He always makes a way. I believe in divine timing, and I know there's people that's been set in my life that were genuinely angels, like actual angels, because they came in times where I really, really needed them, and I never saw them again ever. Don't know them from a can of paint, and they helped me get out of a jam. Like, never saw them again. But I forgot what my next talking point was. What was I about to swing back to? Oh yeah. So that was me letting go of my anger issues and stuff like that, and just learning to really just enjoy, live the moment. But I still had those walls up around me emotionally. You know what I'm saying? Um, so as I became an adult, I started to drop them down a little bit, which is a cool thing. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't ever deny part of how you feel, but it's what it is. Um, so yeah, I still wasn't one to get into relationships yet, though. Although it did eventually happen, that went south. Not because of me. Like, I got little tiny red flags as time progressed with her that I ignored until it was like boom right in my face. It's like, okay, crimson red flag. And once I broke things off, every red flag that I thought was there, or maybe I thought wasn't there, it was there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It all came to the surface. Plus a little bit more that I'm actually still dealing with. But we are not going to get into all of that. But that kind of sort of put me in a situation of, all right, I see what dropping my guard gets me. Because my thing was like, I did a lot for this individual. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot. And that's kind of, that kind of hurts. You know what I'm saying? You do a lot for the wrong person. But it is what it is. Like, as I said, I'm someone who will just do about any favor you ask if I care about you. And that's just the way it is, unfortunately. Like, I'm a loving person. But I had to definitely go into a deep meditative state for me to decide if I wanted to still be with that individual or not. You know what I'm saying? And once I decided not, and shit went haywire. Yeah, I started meditating a lot more. Um, and at which point I found that I still had other romantic feelings that I had been repressing. Like, a huge part of me that I had been kind of sort of repressing. Because at first I was like, you know what, man, fuck it. I'm just go back to how I used to be. Whoopty whoopty whoop. But I'm like, what does that do for me other than let that person have control or damage of me? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not worth not giving all the love that I possibly can just because one person used that love in the wrong way. It's not. So, went to a super deep meditative state again, and I learned more about myself, which is a good thing. You know, it's definitely good to get to know yourself and get to know how you actually feel. You know what I'm saying? See, do I have any other talking points? Oh, no, that's actually the end what I wrote down for this video. Um, but yeah, the moral of the story is no matter what happens to you, don't build walls around your spirit. Don't build walls around your emotions. Don't build walls around your mind either, because those are very hard to break. You never build a wall around your mind. All in all, just fuck walls. Fuck Trump's wall. Just fuck the Great Wall of China. Fuck any kind of wall that blocks you from something that you need. You know what I'm saying? Because my thing is, we're all human beings. We all need our emotions, even the emotions that we deem as negative. are a part of us. And if we were not meant to have them, we would not have them. Point blank, period. But we are meant to have them. So it's up to us what we do with those emotions. You know what I'm saying? Uh, like, at the same time, you can't let the all the negative repercussions that you see coming stop you from truly expressing yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, see, this is where I'm like real bad at talking to people. Like, it would be so much better if I wrote this down into a song. But this is how I am when I talk to people. Because honestly, talking is just like even right now, like, you can probably see it on my face. I'm not totally comfortable even just like saying all this out loud versus just writing it down and then possibly recording it later. Like, I got so many personal songs that I actually have recorded and a lot that I haven't recorded, but they will never see the light of day. Is what it is. You feel me? But yeah. And what's funny is once I came to the conclusion that all right, I'm just gonna drop down all my walls. You know what I'm saying? One, I felt so much better. Two, creatively, I got so much better. Just in that, well, I'm gonna say it was like a 5 or 6 days I spent in meditation. Not really playing the game that much. Not really on my phone that much. Just coming home from work, hopping straight into my room and just being with myself, being alone with my thoughts. A lot of people are afraid to be alone with their own thoughts. And I can understand that because your thoughts can take you down a very dark road. But at the same time, you have to realize that it's your brain and you control those thoughts and you control what you choose to think about. Even if you think you don't have control over your brain, I guarantee you, the minute you decide to focus on something else, all that negative stuff you was thinking of, out the window, out the window. Um, but yeah, I think that's all I got to say for this episode. Um, I'm just real quick. I'm gonna try to think in my head, write down another deep topic, and I'm gonna see if I can get these videos out to y'all by today. Cause I don't even think I'm gonna edit any of these. It's all gonna be raw, uncut, me saying how I feel for real. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, that's the end of this one right here. Let me press the button.